What's up, YouTube? Thrift Hunter here with this week's estate sale finds. I'm going to start out with these coins that I bought yesterday. Bought basically a whole tin of coins for, I think it was about 50 bucks. So what I was really interested in was these large coins, but the other stuff is kind of some old Canadian pennies from like 20s, 30s, 40s. There's also some other foreign currency and little tokens and things like that. Just somebody's little change jar, I guess, from their travels or something. And there's a couple of Mexican coins, but for the most part, I'm not seeing anything too special in here. There's a couple of silver dimes, Canadian silver dimes, and a couple of quarters that are silver, but for the most part, nothing crazy here. But the reason why I bought the lot, of course, was these big coins, and I thought they could be potentially pretty good, but I found out that they're not. So let's take a look at them a little bit here. I'll try and spread them out. So this is what I was seeing in the box of coins. So these were all pretty interesting looking, at least. These top ones here are all magnetic. So these ones are fake, which leads me to believe that these are also fake. So these are Chinese coins. They're supposed to be from like the early 1900s. They're all dollar coins. And from my research, just so you guys know who buy coins, about 99% of the time these are fake. These are all supposedly old, like this one here. These Mason II Kandarine coins. And this one's supposed to be Fujian province. This would be like a really expensive coin if it was real. It's supposed to be 900 silver, and it's magnetic, so it's not silver. Also, one of the things I noticed was this beaded edge here. A lot of them are supposed to have dots, and they're not supposed to have these kind of long, kind of fingerboard looking pattern that goes around here. And then, like, these coins are commonly faked. They call these Fat Man coins, I guess. But here's another one that just doesn't look right. And it's magnetic, so obviously not silver. This one, again, is supposed to be a really expensive coin. Some of these would be worth, like, anywhere from $100 to $1,000, depending on the condition. So those are the magnetic ones. Again, it looks almost brand new, but it's supposed to be 100 years old. And here's the non-magnetics that were maybe had more potential, but let's look at them and see why I think every single one of these is fake. One of the things that you should notice right away is all this like yellow marks here, and that's pretty consistent with acid aging. So these look like they went into an acid bath to make them look more old. And another reason is kind of the details. Like on this guy, he's got this weird mustache going on, and the eyes are kind of weird, and the strike is a little off center. There's just a lot of things on this that's not looking so good. But I think the main thing that I can really tell is that the detail on these, let's see if it'll focus. The detail on these is almost completely flat. There's almost no raised detail on these. Same with, goes with all of them. There's like almost no detail on these. They feel very flat. Here's supposed to be a 1949 coin, and then there's some that are a little bit more obvious than others. Like this one would be a really expensive coin if it was real, but I'm pretty sure these are all going to be fake. Partially just because of the way I found them with all this other loose change that's not very valuable. These, if somebody knew what these were, they would have already had them looked at in cases, because this sale had a lot of coins and that were in flips and cases and stuff, so the person was a coin collector. They would have known that these were probably fake, and that's why they were in this little tin. You can see them very, very flat. Also, the weights aren't right on most of these. I would say a lot of them come in at like 18 to 20 grams. And if these were silver, they should be weighing around like 35 grams, 27 grams, 30 grams, like more on the upper 20s. These are all right around 20 grams, which makes me think they're not even silver. I'm hoping that maybe they're silver copies, but I think they're just straight up fakes. So if you think otherwise, let me know, but I'm pretty sure they're fake. It looked really good in the looking at the edges and stuff. I mean, it looks silver, and they look worn, and they look old, and all that stuff. But yeah, you know, I'm not 100% on coins, so that was about $50 wasted there. So now we're going to move on to my little box of wonders here. This was about $680 in spending by me at an estate sale that was pretty good. It was a nice estate sale. The prices were fair for the most part. They had some higher end gold coins and some nice watches and things like that that were just priced a little bit too high to where I couldn't make anything. So I started looking at the silver and just started grabbing some stuff that I thought was better deals. Some of them were priced under scrap and were really good deals. Some of them were a little bit more. I was just kind of grabbing whatever because, you know, these sales right at the beginning are really hectic because the houses get cleaned out in like 10 minutes. So you got to be real quick and start grabbing stuff. So I started grabbing stuff because it seemed like deals were good. So, you know, when prices are good and, you know, it's time to buy, you just start grabbing everything. So I'm going to just start pulling stuff out of here and showing you what I bought, what I paid, what they are. I'm going to start here with a little Jade necklace. Nothing, I could tell right away that this is like nothing high quality as far as the Jade goes. But the price was okay. It was $40, which is more than I like to pay for these. But it is long. It was one of the things. And the beads are, you know, a little bit larger. They're like 8 or 9 millimeter. But let's show you a little bit of a close-up. So first off, you know, barrel style clasp lets you know that maybe it's a little bit older. It could be still a new clasp, but usually the barrel is a good sign that it's, you know, slightly older. It's all hand knotted on a green string, but pretty obvious here is the quality of the Jade is not that great. So one thing, no transparency, right? I mean, you can't see through these. They're very included, I guess you would say. And second, you know, it's not very sparkly, I guess. Usually these would be a little bit more sparkly, and the color is a little, I don't know, not that great. The color could be a lot darker, brighter green. This is jadeite, you know, it's just low quality jadeite. I can tell that pretty clearly. I've bought some really nice jade necklaces before, but it's good enough to where I think it will sell. Um, yeah, it's just the quality's kind of okay. It's like a cultured pearl strand is kind of how I would equate this to, is where like the cultured pearls are not worth a lot, but this is a better one that I think I can get $100 for it, and I'm gonna try at least. It could be more, it could be less. If it had a gold clasp, I think it would be a little bit easier to sell. But yeah, there's the jade that I bought. Nothing great. I mean, it's really not, the quality's just not there. Okay, let me grab some of the silver out of the way here. Here's just a ring that I bought, $7. Just nice. It's a little druzy quartz, I guess. And this black part does feel like stone. There's no markings on it. Alright, I don't know what's up with the lighting. Hopefully you can see it good enough. Does that help? No. This feels like stone, so it doesn't feel like resin. So this may be onyx with a druzy quartz set in it. Something like that. It's a nice ring for what it is. The people who buy rings from me will buy this fairly quickly. It's a nice piece. Here's a Schaefer pen here, fountain pen. Doesn't have a gold nib, and then it's also got this kind of rubbery grip to it, which makes me think it's probably a pretty new piece. But it was $6, and I like the color of it there. So I picked that up. What else is in here? This is just I think this is just a junk chain, but I just kind of liked the design of it. It's kind of neat looking. That's probably just costume there. Let's see. Bought this. Actually, this was thrown in with the stuff I bought. It's a nice little cultured pearl, just like tin clam case. You know, I buy a lot of pearls, so this would be nice to display them in to sell a set or something. This was thrown in with the deal. He was like, "You want to pay $8 for this?" I'm like, "Nope." And then he's like, "All right, we'll throw it in." It's like a little, the hinge is a little off and whatever, but it's nice. Nice little case. Pocket watch. Here's just an Elgin gold-filled pocket watch. I don't think this one runs. Got a little bit of a design on the back. It's gold-filled. $50. Grade 311. Pretty standard buy. I mean, I'll have to look it up, but usually these I can, you know, sometimes I can get 85 to 100, sometimes I can't. It just depends on the grade, even not running, so it's that piece. This I bought at a different sale, but this is a Waltham ladies watch. I bought this purely for the packaging. I really liked how complete it is. So here's the Waltham box. This was $10, and then here's the watch. This is just one of these generic, you know, whatever, manual wind with the rolled gold plate bezel and the gold filled band. You know, I pick these up for $5 all the time, but this one is just totally complete. 17 jewel, and it's got the Waltham tag. It's got the price tag here. It's got the nice graphics. So I think this is all the money here is going to be in the display element of this. But yeah, I hope to get like $50 for this, maybe more. I'm not sure. The watch is really not worth much of anything, but having all of the packaging here really makes this piece pretty cool. So I picked that one up. Let's see. So here's Here's a piece. I'll show you this piece first. This is a nice little pendant. This is marked MB Sterling. Little wagon design. And it's just a religious, like, little flip book. It's really heavy. This was $28, which is a lot to pay for something like this, but I just thought that the quality was there. It's really heavy, and it's designer, so hopefully this is worth some money. I'm not sure. I couldn't find the mark just by checking really fast. Alright, so a bunch of silver spoons, obviously, here. There's ones like this, so like $20, and look at how big this is. So this is 830 silver. So a lot of this is by G. Hellstrom, which is Gustav Hellstrom from Norway. And a lot of these are from like the early 1900s, 1920s, 1910s kind of time period. So yeah, for $20 for like that spoon is a good deal. This is like 50, 60 grams. So just in scrap, I'm making money there. Here's a little baby rattle. This was $15. It's got some damage. It's got a few little dents, but it's kind of a neat piece for $15. I mean, usually I see them priced a little bit higher. Here's some silver earrings that were in the costume bin, and some, these are like silver little CZ studs that were in the costume bin. I really liked the set here of sugar tongs, and it's unfortunate that they're damaged. These are $16, which it's almost gonna pass on these, but see the damage right here, and then some of the glass work or enamel work in here is missing. This is what they call plique de jour, which is just like stained glass silver from Norway. They also make this in France and some other countries do, I believe. This one is marked as well. This is another Hellstrom piece, I believe. Yeah. There's another Hellstrom piece that's marked on the inside there, 830 silver. Most of these pieces are by Gustav Hellstrom, so it's a nice set. I mean, if this was in good condition, I'd be asking like over 100 for these, but it's not in good condition. So here's another pocket watch that I bought. This was, I think, like $20, something like that. It was obviously it's a broken pocket watch, and it's got initials on the back. This one I cannot get open. Like, I've tried everything to get this open. I believe it's a screw back just because of there's no hinge and there's very little gap. So I think this is a screw back, but it's just been corroded on and it's just stuck. I mean, I've really tried cranking on this and it won't. And obviously someone else tried to as well. You can see a lot of other spots where someone's tried to open this, but probably got water damage and it's like just super corroded. But to me, this looks like 10 karat gold. It could be gold filled, but there's no wear through. If you look even at the engraving and just around the edges and around here is usually you can see gold, the wear through on the gold filled. So I really need to get this open. So if you have any recommendations on how to get this open, let me know. I may just take this to my jeweler and see if he can get it open. But this really looks like gold to me. I mean, obviously gold filled is going to look like gold too, but I mean, I don't see any wear through. That's my thing. Even in the scratches, they're still all gold color. So, yeah, I'm hopeful that this is gold. It would be worth like 120 or 150 if it's 10 karat or more. So, that was a cool piece. You probably saw these enamel spoons. These are really nice as well. These have no damage to the enamel, which is really nice. These are like berry spoons. Strawberry, grape and cherry. You can see there. These were $14 each, which again, it's a pretty high price, you know, to pay for these, especially being 830 silver, not sterling. But you'd be surprised on antique spoons can go crazy in price. But these are marked, I think, GH. So I think these are Gustav Hellstrom as well. Nice little set there, but yeah, $28 for the two of them. So we'll see how we do on those. I think they're pretty good. Here's another silver like ladle, $26. Little, again, pricey, which I get it. But another Hellstrom piece. They had another one of these without the little spout that I didn't buy. So I did buy the one with the spout just because I thought it was a little bit more interesting than maybe a regular ladle. So it's got the little pour to it. And it's got like a faux coin in there. It's a nice piece, but I don't know. That one I was like a little, I don't know if I should buy it kind of thing. Yeah, so there's some more, you know, little random pieces. $12 for a big fork. Really heavy. I mean, this is over 50 grams right here, so that's worth more than scrap. So pick that up. Another ladle here, $20 with the little hook on it. And this one, I think this one's the one that's MH. So I think this one's Mauritius Hammer, which is a famous Norwegian designer. So that one could be a little bit better. And then I think I've got another spoon or fork or something in here that's by Mauritius Hammer as well. Oh yeah, I picked up a Pokemon Fire Red version, $15. I know that it matters a lot if this saves or not, and I don't have a Game Boy Advance to check this on, so I'll sell it as is. I think I'll still sell it. But these go for like $45, $50 if they're saving correctly. So there's that. Here's the silverware that I bought. So this is probably the best deal on all the silver. There's another random spoon there, $10. Nice one. So these came in these cases like this. I've got one case that's okay. I mean, this one's okay. It's still kind of falling apart. But this one is Theodore Olsen from Bergen. So these go in these spoons and forks go in this little case. This one's okay. The other one I have is like almost completely falling apart. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell them with the cases or not, just because it's such a pain to ship these. People don't like it when I ship, like if I were to put these in here and then bubble wrap this and ship it, because they do shift around in shipping, so they want them packaged separately, and it's kind of a pain because it takes up too much space and the shipping cost gets too high. But I do have the cases, so I don't know. Anyway, this is like set of 10, I think, maybe 12. I think it's 10 though. Spoons and forks. So the spoons they have JSC monograms. I believe the spoons were about 380 grams of 830 silver, and then the forks were about 460 grams or something. These are big, heavy dinner forks. I mean, I think these are almost 40 grams each. So, I mean, they're, yeah, right around 40 grams a piece. These are really heavy, really nice quality. T. Olsen 830S there. Not really much on the design. It's just a beaded edge design, so nothing crazy. We'll see. I'll probably end up getting scrap for these. I might try for a little bit more. They are antique. With the Norwegian stuff, it's very... You have to wait for the right person. Because eBay, as far as like search keywords and stuff, I'm not going to put sterling in the title, and I'm not going to put like you know, it's going to be 830 silver, and a lot of people just don't buy 830 silver. But when you find the right person who's like, oh, I'm from Norway and my grandparents had a set like this or whatever, and they're going to pay top dollar for these. So, you know, I'll probably put a high price on them, let them sit, see what kind of offers I get. There are silverware people that will buy these. Like, sometimes I've even gotten offers from replacements.com. Sometimes they'll buy my stuff, so to add to their inventory of replacements. But oh yeah, I think here's another. There's another large spoon from a different set, and I forget who made this one, but here's another nice old spoon, 20 bucks. Anyway, not over 900 grams and 830 silver for 120 bucks, plus the other silver spoons I bought. It's in total like 1900 grams of silver that I bought for about maybe $450 of what I bought in total. So yeah, lots of money to be made there. I mean, I think it's around 700, 800 in scrap alone. So yeah, there's the silverware stuff there. Let me move that out of the way. And then just the in the costume jewelry was a little bit of gold, so nothing crazy here. I can dump it out. This was all in the costume jewelry. This cost me all of 15 bucks. So 14 karat and diamond earrings with a little Greek key design. The diamonds on these are totally crap. They're like old cut, or they're like little just one pointers or whatever. They're anyway, lever back earrings, 14 karat and diamond little starburst tie tack, kind of neat. 18 karat gold here, diamond single little earring, 14 karat single earring, and this one I have to test, but it looks like 14 karat and opal tie tack there. So yeah, 15 bucks for that. I mean, it's like 4.5 grams of gold there. I wish they had more of the single earrings. I had the other one to this, but it got lost somehow. Either when the guy was putting it in my bag, it got lost, or it got lost in my car or something. I don't know. But it's okay. I was a little upset that I lost that because it's probably 15 bucks just for one single earring. But yeah, 15 bucks I paid for all of this gold. Scrap that eventually. Okay, so last couple of silver pieces are these. You guys saw me probably pull it out. These I'm really interested in. These I think can be worth a decent amount of money to the right person. Again, 830 silver, it's not going to be the easiest to sell. I'm going to start with these. Sorry, my lighting's kind of being a little bad. Hopefully it shows up better on YouTube. $54 each for these big serving ladles or serving spoons here. These are Gustav Hellstrom, same maker as the other stuff, and these are like, I don't know, these are like 75, 90 grams, I don't know, something like that each. Got a monogram on the back of the bowl. Here's the marking, it'll focus. There you go. Hellstrom 830S, $54. So I did have to pay up for these quite a bit, but I really liked the finials on here. These are really cool. So I tried to do a lot of research on these to try and find another one like it, and I really can't. I was able to find one that was pretty similar, that was about this size. Had a similar design here with this kind of square block in the front and then a braided line, but then it came up to a ball finial that just it was just a plain like small ball on the end here. It didn't have this kind of like I don't know what this is, if it's supposed to be like an acorn design, leaf design. I found one that was like 150 bucks. That wasn't quite as nice as these ones. So I think I'm going to shoot for around 200 a piece, which will put about $400 on this set, which, I don't know, maybe that's reaching a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I think they're pretty special, just because it's a set, and because it's old, and because of the nice design, and the bigger size, and everything like that. It's got a lot going for it. If you look up silver serving spoons that are in this kind of a design, the prices can be pretty high. I mean, some of them you find pieces for 500 bucks, 1,000 bucks for one spoon. But those are usually Tiffany or Durgin or Old Reed and Barton or something like that. So there's those ones. Then there's this one. Now this one I saw right away, and this one is impressive. I would hope that this is worth a lot of money. I'm not sure, obviously I could not find anything like this. But this one was $74, so I paid a lot for this. This is about 150 grams. So, I'm right there at like scrap. But this has a nice like cherub there. Then it's got this winding here with little Roman numerals going all around. And then it's got this like little turret boy finial. I call it like a turret. It looks like a castle turret, I guess, to me. And then he's up in the crow's nest with a little, it's gonna be hard to show, I guess, but he's got like a little helmet on. So I don't know if this is related to like World War I or what, but this one is just crazy quality. Elstrom 830S. It's got the same monogram, but it looks like it wasn't finished. See how it's got the S and then it's got like part of the J. I think it's supposed to be like this. Part of the J is like been started, and then it just is because their monogram was JSC, which this one like isn't finished, which is kind of just an interesting little bit to me. It was like, it looks like the engraving wasn't finished. And yeah, the Roman numerals, it says like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 all the way down in Roman numerals. So yeah, I can't find anything like this. I mean, I would say anywhere from 300 up to like 800. I mean, there's quite a range on this. I don't know. I think I'm going to try and auction this and start it out at like 300 or 400 bucks and I don't know, see if I get a bid. And then just put it up, buy it now or best offer at a higher price afterwards if it doesn't sell. But yeah, this is a really impressive silver ladle. So I was really happy to get that. It's huge piece. Alright, so I'm going to get on to my last piece, which is a really cool piece. It's a big piece, so I'm going to have to lay it out. So let me go ahead and grab that. Okay, so here is probably my most exciting find of this week. I was really happy about the silver, and then I went to this sale. This was about 85-mile drive for me. So really far to go for an estate sale. Just feeling a little crazy. I saw this in the pictures, and I was just like, all right, well, I've got to go, and I've got to go try and find it and buy it if it's a good enough price. I did a lot of research and figured out kind of around what this probably was. So obviously it's a sword. It's a katana sword, however you say it. The thing was about this is I showed up at like probably 5:30, 5:15 in the morning, and I was the first one there, right? There's no one else there. I was the first one there, and then these two guys show up in a truck about 20 minutes later. And, they get out, and I recognize the guy, and he's one of the dealers. So I was like, hey, what's up? And he was like, yeah, so, we were here. We put out our names last night. So we're 1 and 2, and you're number 3. I was like, okay, you guys just showed up after me. So this has been an ongoing issue at almost every estate sale is like, can you put out your name the night before? Can you not? So like, I'm okay with it, right? Like, okay, so he like knew one of the neighbors and they put out his name or put out a box or whatever the night before. Okay, fine. I mean, I'm not here to argue about it, but the thing is when I try to do that, so when I go to a sale the day before that's by my house and I put out a box, and then I get there in the morning at 4:30 or whatever, I got someone screaming at me going, I was here at 4. So why are you first? And like the last sale I went to, I was getting just screamed at by this guy because I put out a box the night before, and I was just like, look, dude, people do it all the time, It's like I was here first. So there needs to be some kind of clarification on whether or not you're allowed to do that, because people do it all the time. And so like it's just always some kind of a conflict about who was there first. And then the sale where I got all the silver at, there was another guy who showed up like at 6:30 or something and tried to put his bag at the front because he was the only one standing there at the door, and I was there at 4:30 and these other people were there at 4:30 that put boxes out as markers, and they came up and were just like, whoa, 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 like we're here for, we're here first. And this guy's like, well, they say there's no list. I don't know. This has been just the drama of going to estate sales. There's always a fight for who's going to be first. There's always like this battle. All right, enough ranting. We're going to get on to the sword because it's cooler than what I'm talking about. So, so I have it broken apart right now, if you can see that, because I was checking for marks on the tang on the inside of the handle. So I'm going to put this back together after I take pictures, but for right now it's broken up in parts. It's really, really cool piece here. So you'll notice and I don't know all the terms for everything, so I know all these things have terms for, this is called the scabbard, but it's really called the scara or something like that. I don't know. So I'm not going to get into that, but here is the scabbard. That's what I'm going to call it. And one of the things that I noticed about this, so it's a wooden scabbard, and then it's got this single little ring here. When you look at the pictures for a lot of these swords, so this is a World War II era sword is what we're talking about here. A lot of them don't have the single, they've got the double. They've got 2, so there's another ring down here. And this one just has the single one, and these are all like little brass fittings. So that doesn't really say much, but it does, because this means it's a little bit earlier than the ones that had the double. Not by much, but it does make a difference how that was set up. So that was one thing I was able to see from the pictures, since it was, not a very good picture, but I could see that I only had one ring, which I think is kind of important. Overall, the condition of the scabbard is really good. There's no like cracks or any like crazy paint loss or anything like that. So it's like a lacquered wood. So there's that. Here is the handle, and again, I know this has some kind of a name. Like, yeah, I don't know what it is, but here's another thing that I could see pretty well from the pictures was these like little ornaments in here that are, I guess, there to keep the wrap tight. And then the other thing you can see, hopefully, is the age. So you can see the aging on the brass. You can see the aging all over the handle here. So it's definitely telling me that it's, you know, a real deal sword. And then here's the inside of the wrap. I believe this is ray skin is what I think that is. It does have like a few little markings on the inside. I'm going to try and show some detail on this because I know a lot of my eBay buyers watch my videos and they're going to want to see this piece for sure. This piece is missing a ring. So this is the butt of the handle. And so this piece is loose here because it's missing a ring that would go around here that would clip that in place. So it does have some little condition issues, but I mean overall it's a pretty good feeling handle there. Here's some of the fittings. So I'm pretty sure this is called the Suba, and then these are Seppas, I guess, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it has a different name. Like I said, I'm not really going to try that hard at the names. So these all have little markings that say 62. So this says 62 here. On the inside here it says 62. And yeah, this one says 62 as well. So that's really good. Lets me know this is all numbers matching pieces here. And what's actually really interesting is I was able to find almost the exact same sword sold listing that was number 61. So this one's right after that one, which was kind of interesting. I was able to find someone that had all matching number 61, and I've got number 62. All right, so here's the blade. We're going to get into the blade. First off, we'll talk about the steel here. This is in no way a traditional forged sword. This is a factory-made sword, so this is not something that I would really consider calling a samurai sword or anything like that. It's just not. So this is a like mid-war, late-war production out of a factory in Japan, and it's just like a, you know, high-tempered steel or whatever. I don't know. And you can see pretty clearly here these markings that indicate that it's been sharpened, and it was at some point sharpened by somebody improperly. This looks like someone took a belt sander to it or something, which is really sad and unfortunate. I wish it really had an original edge. It's really not even sharp anymore, this sword. I mean, it's a little sharp, but it's not razor sharp or anything like you would think with a katana sword. So yeah, you can see some of the markings where someone took some kind of a belt grinder to this to try and sharpen it. That can be fixed, of course. This can be repolished and ground or given a proper edge to it. You know, maybe at one point this had chips in it or something, but as far as I can tell, there are no chips in the blade. So I'll kind of show you. So it still looks good. No chips is a big thing on these. A lot of times they are chipped. It is a very thick metal. That was probably the one thing that surprised me the most, was how heavy this was. I really thought these things were supposed to be pretty light, but this is actually pretty heavy. A lot heavier than what I expected. I don't know why. I just expected it to be pretty light. Anyway, so I took off the handle. That was a main thing, right? If you don't know, I mean, you should. I think most people would know that swords like this are usually marked on the tang, so they're underneath the handle. So let me see if I have it. So there's like this little wood pin that goes into the handle here. Let's see it there. So this little wood pin goes into the handle. When this is on, the little wood pin goes in. So to take that out, you just there's like a little, I use some kind of a little punch to punch that out, and then you're supposed to use your hand and hit your hand the proper way to do it to like, bop the handle out. This one was a little stubborn and didn't want to come out, so I used a towel and a little mallet and just tapped on the top of the this piece here, and it popped off pretty easily after that. Just lightly tapping it, it's not going to harm it. Anyway, you can see one mark here, which is like in paint. This is like, I believe, an inspection mark or something by the company approving it, and then the actual stamp that is on here is right here, and it's a little anchor mark in a circle. So I was able to find the company that made this. I don't have the exact name of it right now off the top of my head, but it's like a Japanese naval factory company that made a bunch of different gear for the naval military. So this is pretty important, this marking here. Most of them were unmarked, and so this one does have the anchor mark on it. It's not signed, so that hurts it. Like, there's no like maker's signature here, because this was like a mass-produced item. This is not a hand-forged master, piece here at all. But it is better grade. So there are some that I guess are called NCO swords that were made a little bit later, like end of the war or post-war, that are not as expensive, but these marked naval ones means that I'm pretty sure it was made during the war, which makes it worth more. So anyway, if you want more details, you can check out my eBay listing on this one once I get it up. But yeah, so I paid $150. Sorry, let me say that. It was $150, so like I immediately just took it, right? I mean, for $150, no matter what it is, it was worth it. I mean, you could sell the handle for $150. So I think this sword, based on what I've read and completed listings I've looked at, the one that was almost identical to this went for about $1,100. So, obviously there's factors with condition and just demand and whatever. So I think this one would be somewhere in the range of, I don't know, 600 to 1,200, 600 to 1,200. It's a big range, I know, but I think minimum 500 on this, and probably more like around 1,900 is probably pretty likely on this. But of course, we'll see. I never know with these kind of things if they'll sell right away or not. But I expect a lot of interest in this, so yeah. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment for me. Thanks. Have a good one.